Okay, hey guys, it's your boy Dark Raikou here with What If Takemichi Was Like Garou, Part 1. Now, I should mention one thing. I'm not sick, I just have really bad allergies right now. So, yeah. But not the point. Um, Let me begin into this What If, because it's a new ass What If that I was thinking. Mostly it's basically from Tokyo Revengers. But yeah. But pretty much, Takemichi, well, yeah, I did already mention the title, didn't I? It's What If Takemichi Was Like Garu? Um, so yeah, if you don't know who Takemichi is, he's from Tokyo Revenger. He's the main character, not the main character, the main protagonist who gets his ass kicked on a daily basis. Motherfucker doesn't fight. At least throw a fucking punch. Like, goddamn, he doesn't throw hands until he like punches Kisuke or whatever his goddamn name is again in the face during like the freaking festival when he got elected the third lieutenant or third rank captain or whatever the fuck it's called. But yeah, that's the only time he threw a punch. Then he got clocked out by Benji, yeah, something like that, and Kisuke, yeah, but yeah, but not the point. So let me begin into this. What if this is not going to start at the very beginning of the what's it called anime? Instead, it's going to start, or mostly he's going to awaken during the time, or not awaken. No, no. So, wait. No, it is going to start at the beginning of the anime. Okay, never mind. Blech, I'm going on randomly. Blech. So, let's begin into mostly this what if. So, we begin into Takemichi mostly kind of getting his ass kicked during the fight, well, mostly betting games or whatever. This is where, well, he is right now fighting against, well, mostly the leader named, what was his fucking name again? He was fighting against Kiyomasa. Now, Kiyomasa was kind of like beating the shit out of, most of, what's it called, Takemichi? Most of the time. Of course, Takemichi was trying to fight back, but of course, well, Bernie, he's like crying so much. Until for some reason, he saw, well, a glimpse of his friends. He saw what's called mostly the future and other things, of course. He remembers his girlfriend dying and other stuff. This is where, well, he then kind of let go of that for a second. For some reason, he felt very strange. His eyes started kind of going into, instead of being blue, into a yellowish color, being furious most of the time, remembering everything. This is where, well, he kind of sees what's it called Kiyomasa trying to call upon a battle, like, give me a battle rare, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. This is where, well, mostly Takemichi sees this, and this is where Takemichi glares at what's it called Kiyomasa. This is where, well, Kiyomasa turns back around and says, what do you want? This is where he gets punched in the face so hard that it probably dislocated his jawline. This is where, well, it wasn't even a punch. It was mostly like if, what's it called, Takemichi hit him with a fucking, like his own bat, like a metal strike bat. But it wasn't even a metal strike bat. It looked like, if anyone actually paid attention closer, it had some kind of blue energy that, what's it called, Takemichi had on his fist. Or not even on his fist. His fists weren't even into the clench of mostly clench or anything. Like his hand wasn't clenched. Instead, it was like having, what's it called? His four fingers kind of into like, it's clenched, but it's not like into a fist ball. Instead, it was kind of clenched, like having, yeah, mostly his like, how should I say? It was clenched, mostly like his fingers was clenched, but it wasn't into the fist ball, but yeah, into like a flat handed. But yeah. This is where, well, he did strike at what's it called Kiyomasa so fast that no one else noticed what happened. Until mostly, well, Takemichi kind of went back normal because his eyes went blue instead of a yellowish color. And Kiyomasa was standing up before falling over and getting knocked the fuck out. This is where everyone right now wind their eyes right now and just stunned. Everyone is fucking quiet to the ground. Even what's it called? Aku, or whatever his name. Yeah, Aku. Because the guy with the red hair and he was going to stab what's it called? Kiyomasa. No, he was also stunned. He was just dumbfounded. Seeing what's it called? None other than, well, Takemichi beat the shit out of someone right now so fast that no one actually could actually see what the fuck happened. It was just like blink. Like they all blink at once and motherfucker was done. He was gone. He was like, this is where everyone kind of wind their eyes. until they kind of heard walking towards their location. And when they saw who it was, everyone bowed down in an instant. This is where, well, it was none other than Mikey and Draken. Yeah, Draken. That's what, well, I can't barely say his name. But this is where, well, everyone is bowing down. And this is where, well, mostly Kiyomasa managed to get up a little bit, even though he felt his, like, jaw be dislocated. This is where, well, he looks up and says, oh, my, yeah, he could barely even speak. He got fucking hit in the jaw so hard. Yeah, it's very dislocated. This is where, well, Mikey walks past him and kind of sees Takemichi. Now, I should mention, Takemichi did fall down to the ground because he was stunned and what the hell happened. And this is where, well, mostly Takemichi sees Mikey and Mikey says, you're interesting. I'm interested in you. What's your name? This is where, well, Takemichi, I forgot Takemichi's last name. But this is where, well, this is where Mikey says, okay, Taki, or Teki? What was Mikey's nickname for, what's it called, Takemichi? I forgot. This is where, well, he calls him Takemichi. I kind of bite my tongue. Takemichi. This is where, well, Takemichi kind of looks at him confused, but this is where, well, he kind of nodded slowly. And this is where, when, Kiyomasa was trying to talk to Mikey, this is where, well, he got kicked in the stomach. So, yeah. Or, well, he got kicked in the stomach anyway. By Draken. Draken says, shut up. Who died and made you goddamn king? This is where, well, Kiyomasa kind of looked at Draken. This is where, well, he was horrified. He can barely talk, and his jaw is probably dislocated. Whatever. This is where, well, right now, well, Draken kind of is standing next to Mikey, but this is where Mikey gets up and does kind of kick the shit out of, well, what's it called, Kiyomasa. But yeah, because Kiyomasa ain't shit. He kind of just got one-shotted by Takemichi, and, well, no one else knows what the hell happened. This is where Draken right now tells everyone to already get the fuck out before he decides to beat the shit of all of them. This is where, well, all of them starts kind of like running away, but yeah, and kind of cleaning up, but yeah. This is where, well, Aku and the others kind of went on ice, but yeah, this is where, well, mostly Mikey says, so, let's be friends, Takemichi. This is where, well, Takemichi kind of says, yeah. This is where, well, mostly Mikey starts walking away with Draken. This is where, well, when Takemichi gets up, this is where he gets tackled by his friends. They're saying, you're not dead! Also, what the fuck happened? But still, we're happy you're not dead. You became the friends with, what's it called? Friends with Mikey. Well, mostly, the leader of Toma or whatever. This is where, well, mostly Takemichi says, yeah. What happened? This is where, well, for some reason, he wasn't fully unconscious. Or, he was conscious, but he didn't know what the fuck happened. He felt like his body right now, when he was fighting against Kiyomasa, was completely different. Was like, he wasn't the one fighting, but at the same time, he was. He just doesn't know what really happened. He felt his body being really relaxed, his muscles being toned. Of course, this is where if he had muscles, I don't think he does have in the anime. But this is where, well, he just feels the muscle in his bones, and mostly the kind of like muscles everywhere in his body kind of just relax. And when Kiyomasa was kind of looking somewhere else, that's the perfect chance when he struck and knocked the fuck out of Kiyomasa, but he didn't know what happened. This is where, well, he felt this blue energy around him, but it disappeared after a while. He was confused, but he didn't know. This is where, well, he was kind of talking to Akun and the others, and this is where, well, they're walking to mostly, well, already leaving, kind of being happy they're no longer under, what's it called, Kiyomasa's kind of control, or slavery, or whatever bullshit you like to call it. But this is where, well, when everyone is kind of like getting, well, out, and of course, this is where, well, Akun, well, mostly, yeah, Akun himself was what they call talking to Takemichi, because the other kind of, well, other three kind of already left. This is where, well, they talk about the whole, what will happen in the future, what would they talk about, and other stuff. This is where, well, mostly Takemichi nodded and says that they will basically just talk about whatever. And this is where, well, this is where they nodded, and of course, where, well, Takemichi does kind of go home. Wait, yeah, he goes, well, not home, he goes towards, see, what's it called, his girlfriend of Hima, yeah, Hima, goes to see her, but of course see, what's it called, her brother, or not her. Wait, fuck, I'm getting confused on the timeline. Okay, yeah, I kind of mixed up the timeline. Okay, I'm not that great in remembering stuff, so sorry about that. But since this is kind of my first kind of ever what if on Takemichi, it's going to be fucked up. So yeah, like I did mention, any new what ifs I ever start on any new characters, it will be kind of fucked up because either I'm stuttering a little bit, I'm not trying to fuck it up, but I am already fucking it up. So yeah, sorry about that. Let me go into the actual timeline now. I just kind of rewatch. I just kind of skipped through the episode that I was on. Mostly, not I was on. I just went back to episode 3 and kind of not rewatch it. Only kind of see a glimpse of it just to get my memory back on. So yeah, this is where, well, Takemichi was not. Yeah, he didn't go to Hima. He just said he kind of went back home. And this is where, well, when he got home, he kind of he just fell asleep. He just passed the fuck out, fell asleep. This is where, well, he didn't talk to Akun about the whole, what's it called, what they were talked about later. But mostly, they were just, Akun just said he would protect his friends and other stuff like that. But yeah, this is where, well, Takemichi just fell asleep right now into the deep slumber of unconscious. This is where, well, he fell asleep, but this is where, when he was about to kind of wake up, it was kind of like 6 o'clock in the morning, but he was still asleep. This is where, well, he started dreaming about something. Mostly, it felt like a dream, but it felt like real life. This is where, well, he looked up, mostly up to see someone. This is where, well, a white-haired man, right now his hair kind of being like into a V shape. But this is where, well, he was kind of, well, not really standing. He was like sitting on a hill. This is where, well, there was a white wolf like next to him. This is where when both of them kind of turns to see Takemichi, both their eyes were glowing a kind of color of yellow. The wolf had yellow eyes, and even the man had yellow eyes. The man had kind of palish skin a little bit, but he seems to be ripped as hell. This is where, well, the reason why I say that is because he had a kind of like long sleeve shirt that was kind of tight. So yeah, that was pretty long. Well, it wasn't long, it was tight. Mostly the long sleeve shirt was a black long sleeve shirt. Must have been, yeah. It was a black long sleeve shirt with what's it called, wearing some like white loose pants, and of course wearing these like slip shoes on, black slip shoes on. This is where, well, he looks to be some kind of karate master at once. That's what Takemichi think about in his head. But for some reason, he seems familiar. This person seems very familiar towards Takemichi. He just doesn't remember pointing where that person would be from. This is where, well, you keep looking at what's it called, mostly this person. The person says, "You're gonna stare there all day, or are you just gonna come over here and talk to me, brat?" The person said. This is where, well, Takemichi seems surprised, and this is where, well, Takemichi starts slowly walking towards, well, mostly the person. Now, of course, he doesn't know who exactly this person is. Of course, Takemichi's a little bit on guard. He doesn't know what to do. Of course, if he gets his ass kicked, it's just like, that's basically daily basis. This is where, well, he's got his ass kicked multiple times, so yeah, it really doesn't affect him that much. Well, it still does, but yeah, you get the point. He doesn't know if this is a dream or this is literally real life, but yeah. This is where, well, when Takemichi's getting closer, the person stands up. The white wolf still kind of growls a little bit at, well, Takemichi. Takemichi gets afraid and says, "Ah! Please don't eat me! Please don't kill me, I mean." This is where, well, the person is right now in front of Takemichi in the blink of an eye. And this is where, well, the person says, "You really think I'm gonna kill you or eat you? Do I look like a wolf to you?" This is where, well, Takemichi says, what about the wolf over there?" This is where the wolf is like right next to, well, the person. Takemichi's like, "Ah, how the hell did he get here?" This is where, well, the person scoffs and says, "You really are cowardly as hell. How are you me, but yet you're so cowardly? You're such an idiot." The person's walking around, what's it called, Takemichi. Takemichi is confused. "You, me, what? Huh? You're really an idiot." "Well, it's not my problem right now. You're too weak. Your body, well, not even your body, your mind and soul and other stuff isn't linked together. You're still not strong enough to kind of, well, contain me fully or, well, use any very special techniques. The time you kind of fought against that one guy with blackish hair, that one scar next to his like face, your head, mostly your mind and soul was linked together. Determination at once to fight back. And that was the only time I ever seen a glimpse of your fighting spirit. Right now, you only are your cowardly spirit. Ugh. You're really cowardly as hell. This is where, well, the person keeps walking around Takemichi, and Takemichi's confused. This is where Takemichi says, "What are you talking about?" He kind of is trying to keep his eyes on what's it called, the person. The person just grins and says, "You know what? I don't really got to tell you anything. It seems you don't understand that much. Well, it's time for you to wake up anyway." Takemichi says, "What do you mean?" He gets punched in the face, so hard in the face that he woke his ass up. This is where Takemichi is right now breathing and having a cold sweat down his kind of like body. This is where he says, "What the hell? What the hell just happened? I feel like my face hurts, but yet it doesn't. Well, then again, it must be all the bruises from yesterday. Who was exactly that person? Whatever. I should probably get going to school. What time is it? 8 o'clock. So early in the morning. Oh. He gets up and kind of just starts kind of going to school. Of course, this is where he meets up with Hima. And Hima kind of just talks to him and saying that they should go on a date and other stuff. This is where, Takemichi nods saying, "Yeah, we should go on a date." This is where, they are kind of getting to school. Of course, when Takemichi is in his classroom, he's already bored out of his mind. But of course, for some reason, his eyes can actually keep, keep on track with the teacher's movements. The teacher's movement seems to be getting slower at the moment, but he doesn't pay attention to that too much. This is where, he kind of hears like a scuffle outside until the door opens, and this is where Mikey appears and says, "Yo, Takemichi! We should, I'm gonna borrow Takemichi for a second." This is where, Takemichi kind of just say, Mikey, with a shocked look. This is where, Takemichi is kind of outside, and this is where, Draken tells everyone, all the third years, to get on their stomachs and just lay on the floor. This is where, Takemichi is confused, but this is where, Draken and Mikey kind of just, like, step on the third years without a care in the world. This is where, that is happening. Takemichi is, like, kind of walking beside them. This is where, Takemichi is confused, but this is where, he gets towards walking beside them, but mostly just on the floor, not stepping on the other people. But yeah, this is where, when they're kind of walking about to leave, this is where Hima appears, telling Mikey to F off by slapping him. Well, not really F off, but in her nice, somewhat poetic way, whatever. This is where, she still slapped the shit out of Mikey, which right now Takemichi says, "Oh God, no!" This is where, Draken glares at Hima, and this is where Hima does grab Takemichi to walk away. This is where, Draken kind of grabs her and says, "Where do you think you're going?" This is where, Takemichi kind of glares at Draken, and right now puts his own hand onto Draken's shoulder, and of course, this is where Draken feels a little bit of more pressure, of more strength from Takemichi, and Takemichi glares at Draken saying, "Let go of her," right now in a dark, menacing tone. This is where, mostly, Hima was a little shocked by this, but this is where Draken says, "You wanna die, brat?" This is where, he did let go of Hima's hand, and this is where, mostly, Takemichi kind of realized what the hell happened and says, I'm sorry. This is where, Mikey laughs and says, "Wow, you're interesting, Takemichi." This is where, Hima does apologize to Mikey for, not knowing who exactly he was. This is where Mikey says it's fine, he doesn't mind it. And this is where, he would never hit a girl. This is where, Draken kind of says, "You have someone there very special to you, Takemichi. You should keep her." This is where, we should show her respect and other stuff. This is where, Takemichi says, "Yeah." This is where, both Draken and not Takemichi, both Draken and Mikey left, but yeah. This is where, Takemichi just switch up and says, "Well, that was interesting, but yeah." Of course, after school, this is where he's riding a bike with Mikey behind him, and of course, Draken on another bike. This is where, they're talking, and of course, this is where, when they get to a certain spot, this is where, Draken is, mostly Mikey's the one talking, saying that he wants to make a, what's it called, biker, kind of, a biker gang, to what's it called? Like bring whatever dreams. I forgot what Mikey said. Fuck. But this is where he talks about that, and this is where Draken says that those who can fight. Yeah, there's a lot of people that can fight, but those who believe in what they is right for them, kind of stands up against the strong and other things. That's not many people there. And this is where Takemichi nodded, and this is where Mikey says you should join us, Takemichi. We would like to have you. This is where Takemichi nodded. This is where both of them kind of rise on the bikes and leave. But yeah, this is where Takemichi says, okay. Well, should probably get heading home. This is where, he's heading home, but of course he walks past what's it called, Kisuke, and of course didn't even know this guy was Kisuke, but had a strange feeling in his gut that that person that he walked by was Kisuke, because he was thinking about the whole, like, Mikey and kind of, like, other problem in the future. But yeah, of course, where, he was just confused, but he decides to walk home. But yeah, this is where, Takemichi gets home, but of course the next day it's happening, and of course he's talking to Hima about the whole date problem. But of course where they decide to go towards Hima's house, mostly apartments, and kind of study there. But yeah, of course where mostly Hima talks about how Takemichi has become much more mature in a couple of sudden minutes. But yeah, this is where she then kind of noticed the window kind of having fireworks, like fireworks are kind of be launched into the sky. This is where she kind of gets happy, and this is where she decides to kind of go outside. This is where she tells Takemichi to let's go to go see the fireworks. This is where they get on the rooftop, and of course where Takemichi thinks that he's holding Hima's hand, but when he looks down, it's none other than Hima's little brother. This is where Takemichi says no, he just teleported back towards the future. But yeah, and of course where Hima's kind of like younger brother still, kind of now older, kind of just asked Takemichi if he killed Mikey. This is where he said no. But this is where he then kind of screams at Takemichi about why he didn't kill him, because this is the reason why Hima's dead. This is where Takemichi talks about how Mikey is not a bad person, and it might be something else that might have changed him. But yeah, this is where mostly what's it called, Hima's brother kind of just sighs, and this is where they are kind of researching some papers, and of course where mostly he talks about how Akun is not arrested in jail or any of that. He's right now the upper hand man to kind of Kisuke or whatever, mostly Mikey and other stuff in the Toma clan, or not Toma clan, the Toma gang. But yeah, this is where mostly Takemichi has a good idea to go talk to him by kind of going to his house and go into his dumpster ass apartments. But yeah, he gets there. He kind of looks for what's it called, the notebook. Of course, where Hima's brother kind of just looked at what's it called. Mostly Takemichi discussed in this fucking apartments, living in a dumpster most of the time. But yeah, this is where when Takemichi is finding the phone number, he then calls, and this is where someone answers, and they go to kind of a club later that day. This is where Takemichi sees Akun when they get to the VIP room, and this is where Takemichi talks to Akun up, like mostly up the rooftop, and of course where Akun explains everything and what happened in his life. This is where he then tells Takemichi if he can time travel. This is where Takemichi says, "Are you crazy? No, I can't." This is where Akun says whatever. This is where he gets towards the edge of what's it called, the side of the building, and tells Takemichi that he then tells save everyone you love for him. This is where cry baby Takemichi. He jumps off, and when Takemichi sees this, he kind of looks over the edge, seeing Akun dead, and falls down to the ground. This is where Takemichi says, "I wasn't strong enough. No, Akun, no." This is where his eyes right now changes. One of them changes to yellow, and right now stays a permanent yellow. This is where mostly Takemichi seems to get angry and annoyed the fact that he couldn't even protect his friends. This is where he gets back down, but of course he has his kind of like left eye closed because he's still very saddened. And of course he hasn't even noticed that his eye kind of went yellow. This is where when was it called, Hima's brother younger brother right now talks to Takemichi when they get back towards Mosia's place, his working place. This is where, well, it kind of decide to kind of prevent another event from happening, and that is the as it went well, Takemichi tells Suzuka Natun? Yeah, Nawu? Nawu. Nawu basically Hima's little brother or whatever. His name is Nawu. Yeah, I went back to the anime to kind of see that. But yeah, of course it worked well. Nawu does get some research done. Of course it worked well. He does tell about how Jokin died and of course changed Mikey and yeah, Kisuke and other stuff. This worked well. Mostly Takemichi does not. And of course, well, before what's it called? Well, when both of them shake their hands, well, mostly shake each other's hands, but mostly when Nawu kind of noticed was something different about Takemichi. He has a determined look, but of course, a very angry look at the same time, mostly protecting everyone, saving everyone. This is where, well, when he looked into Takemichi's both eyes, he looks at his right eye, mostly Takemichi's bluish color eye, his orb, or mostly a blue orb. But he then looks to his left and noticed a yellow golden orb instead. This is where, well, instead of being normal blue. He was confused because he remembers Takemichi never having two different colored eyes, but when Takemichi already falls asleep and already goes back to the past. This is where, well, no one kind of looks confused. He decides to take a little bit of some research about, what's it called, mostly people with stress and maybe deaths and other things. Might he change eye color because he never remembers Takemichi with ever a yellow color eye. But yeah. We go back into Takemichi just kind of waking up and confused. Like, this is where, well, he's sitting down and the girl is kind of above him. This is where Takemichi's like, what the fuck? And this is where, well, the girl managed to get off of him and kind of go to answer her phone. This is where, well, Takemichi is already gone like a fucking... He ran faster than the Flash. He put the Flash to shame when he ran out. And this is where the girl's confused. Like, where the hell did he go? This is where, well... Takemichi managed to get to the store and kind of say, what happened? This is where, well, he must say, Takemichi. This is where Takemichi says, Iba. This is where, well, Hima says, what are you doing here? She looks suspiciously at what's called Takemichi. Takemichi says, oh, no, nothing. I'm just here walking. And this is where, well, he might kind of notice his yellow eye instead of being blue. And yes, it seems to, like, mostly his yellow eye might have just came back to normal. Or might have just came to him when in his past, but yeah. So it might change some things in the future, but don't worry about that. This is where, well, he's kind of just like talking to her. Of course, he does kind of get a call from, what's it called? Jokin? Yeah, I think it's Jokin, Mikey, I forgot. To get towards a location, and of course, when he gets to the location, he kind of, well, mostly Hima and Head get to the location. This is where a bunch of motorcycles start appearing. Lights also start appearing. This is where, well, Takemichi is confused, but this is where, well, mostly someone kind of grabs him from the shoulder, and it's none other than what's it called, so who actually appears is that kind of skinny guy, yeah, with the voice of like, I don't know, that voice kind of reminds me of something, but it doesn't, I don't remember. But of course, then there's that big guy, and of course, this is where they kind of ask Takemichi why he's here. And of course, the taller guy that talks weird most of the time kind of decides to grab what's it called, Takemichi from the collar. And of course, this is where Takemichi kind of almost snapped and was about to like hit him so fast because for some reason, when he got his collar grabbed, he kind of fell into unconscious for a little bit and felt like he was about to punch this guy so fast that no one actually was about to pay attention. This is where, well, mostly the second in command kind of tells them to fuck off. And of course, kicking that one guy and telling why you scaring the guests of, well, our boss. This is where, well, they kind of say, oh, I'm sorry, didn't know. This is where, well, they do follow the second in command and kind of get towards Mikey and even Jokin. Jokin says, why did you bring your wifey here? Mikey says, hey, Takemichi, sorry about kind of calling you here in such late notice. This is where, well, Takemichi just says it's fine. This is where, well, mostly Jokin does apologize to Hima about scaring her last time. This is where Hima says, no, it's all forgotten. Now, of course, this is where, well, that is happening. Of course, this is where, well, when what's it called, they kind of do talk to Mikey and Jokin. Now, of course, this is where, well, Jokin does tell Emma to kind of take care of, well, Hima here. And of course, Emma does kind of say, oh, it's Wussy Boy. This is where, well, Takemichi said, oh no, it is, and this is where he's fucked. Now, Hima does say, Pussy boy? How does she know you? This is where Draken says, that's a good question. How do you two know already each other? This is where, well, Takemichi says, wait, Hima, wait, no. This is where Hima beat the shit of Takemichi, like 10 seconds later. This is where, well, Takemichi says, I'm sorry. Hima walks away. This is where, well, Emma says, I wonder why you went after me. I mean, I only use you to try to kind of make Draken jealous, but yeah, she kind of goes on with that. This is where Takemichi says, yeah, I can see that. Now, this is where, well, mostly Emma walks away. This is where, well, Draken says, hey, what's it called, Takemichi? What are you doing? This is where, well, are you done already? This is where Takemichi says, oh, I'm sorry. This is where, well, they kind of go up to the shrine, and of course, this is where, well, they're walking. Of course, this is where, well, Mikey does kind of tells him about Mobius and how they might have to start war with it. Of course, this is where, well, mostly, what's it called? What am I thinking about? Yeah, so of course that was happening, but this is where Takemichi was kicked down to the ground by the vice captain for the 3rd division, and of course the 3rd division commander. Now, of course, this is where they tried to bully him, but this is where, well, Takemichi was about to get up because his eye right now glowed into a furious yellow, mostly his left eye, but before anything else happened, mostly the 2nd commander did kind of stop him. Now, of course, this is where Takemichi for some reason gets more aggressive when people are trying to push him down. Now, of course, where, well, Takemichi does ask what's the cause of the 2nd commander, that they seem to be out of control. This is where the 2nd commander talks about mostly the 3rd commander, the 3rd division commander, best buddy, kind of got his ass kicked by Mobius' leader, and of course his girlfriend, and even what's it called, his parents, and other things and money, and yeah. This is where, well, Takemichi nodded. He for some reason gets the same feeling of, well, mostly anger. Mostly, if his friends get his ass kicked, which they have gotten their ass kicked multiple times, he kind of gets his blood boiling. But yeah, he can understand, well, mostly Paul's kind of side view. Now, of course, Draken did tell him to fuck off, but yeah, before, what's it called, the whole experiment. But of course, that was happening, and this is where Takemichi then looks back up towards Mikey. Mikey goes back to explaining what was happening. Of course, where Paul screams out that he wants to kind of beat the shit out of Mobius. And this is where, well, Mikey kind of goes and says that Mobius will fall. Everyone cheers up. And this is where, well, for some reason, Takemichi has the weird feeling to also kind of cheer. But he doesn't do it. He has the weird feeling that he also wants to fight for some reason. But of course, he doesn't do it. This is where, well, Takemichi just kind of like, just sees all this happening. Until this is where he realized that, yes, the whole Mobius battle, this is where Draken will die. So, of course, this is where it will. The next day, he has the brilliant idea to talk to Draken and say that he will become his bodyguard. This is where Draken says, yeah, hell no. This is where, well, Takemichi gets, like, shot down, but yeah. This is where, well, he decides to instead kind of, like, spy on, well, Draken most of the time. Mostly be stealthy as fuck, but yeah. Now, of course, this is where, well, he's making sure that Draken isn't, like, lost out of his sight. Now, of course, Draken meets up with Mikey. This is where they both fight. And this is where, well, it was called, Takemichi was about to get scared. But this is where, well, Draken kind of is just fighting with Mikey over Happy Meals and a flag. And, yeah, you get the point. This is where, well, Takemichi falls down to the ground almost. But, yeah. But, of course, this is where, well, most of them kind of just like mostly Mikey and Draken gets towards the hospital to check on someone, mostly what's it called, Paul's best friend's girlfriend, and this is where, well, their parents, well, mostly that girlfriend's parents kind of is arguing Mikey and even Draken. This is where, well, Mikey does refuse to kind of bow down, while Draken does bow down and apologetically. This is where, well, he does kind of pushes Mikey's head down to kind of apologize, mostly bow down. This is where, well, the parents tell them to just leave. And this is where, well, Takemichi finds out that, well, Draken is somewhat the heart of, what's it called, Mikey. So, yeah. This is where, well, Takemichi feels kind of just interested in mostly Draken and Mikey's kind of friendship. But yeah, it's kind of similar to him and Akka, just a little bit since they're kind of good friends. But yeah, but of course, well, Draken gets told by Mikey that he's hungry again after sleeping. This is where Draken says, "How the fuck did that happen? What the hell?" This is where, well, Takemichi kind of like just saw this happening. Of course, Draken and Mikey left, but yeah, of course, it worked well. Takemichi was actually like standing behind a pillar. Of course, seeing this, Now, this is where we go into somewhat of a time skip of mostly Takemichi kind of getting, home, mostly by kind of knocking at Hima's door, and of course asking for a handshake with her kind of brother. This is where he gets teleported, and of course when Nantu kind of nodded, or mostly asked if he changed something. This is where, mostly Takemichi says that he wants to go talk to the Mobius leader. Now, of course, they do kind of talk to an older Mobius leader. Of course, he's all fucked up and mental and blah, blah, blah. This is where, with that happening, mostly, Takemichi kind of nodded, finding out that Draken will die during the battle between Mobius and being confirmed because there's a battle crisis situation happening there, but yeah. Of course, where Takemichi, when they get back home, or mostly get towards, not to his, house, apartments, or whatever, or workplace, whatever. Of course, this is where he shakes hands. This is where he wakes up during, a bike with Akun. This is where a bike trip and other things. Of course, they almost crashed multiple times because, mostly Takemichi was kind of laughing, and just kind of laughing at Akun and other stuff. Of course, telling Akun that he should definitely become a haircutless, or whatever, hairstylist. I don't know why I said cutlass. Hairstylist, and of course, where, Takemichi does scream out and telling the Akun that he can do it. This is where Akun kind of just says, yeah, sure, thanks, man. This is where, Takemichi just says, I should be going then. This is where, Takemichi kind of gets up and, gets off the bike and says, I should be going then. This is where Takemichi rushes towards a warehouse to see, Mikey, Draken, and, this is where, mostly, Takemichi kind of decides to run to the, warehouse, and meets Mikey, Draken, and the two, mostly one division captain, being the third commander named Paul, and the other one being the vice captain. I don't remember his name. I forgot about it entirely. Mostly guy with weird voice, okay? Of course, Takemichi explains that he heard a rumor about, that they should not fight because of, what was that again? Fuck. Mostly, they shouldn't. Fuck. So the fight between Mobius shouldn't happen with Toma. Of course, where Paul is right now punching him, telling him that he shouldn't get in his way and to shut up. This is where, Takemichi then screams out, trying to plead with him until when Takemichi is told to get up. This is where, mostly Paul was actually starting to punch him. This is where Takemichi gets angry and annoyed. And this is where, he does grab what's called Paul's fist in an instant. This is where, mostly Takemichi's eyes glowing brighter in annoyment. But of course, where, Mikey does tell them to stop already and stop Takemichi, and does tell them that they already have a dead set on to fight not Toma, mostly, what's it called, Mobius. This is where, what's it called, not Kenpachi, I was about to call Kenpachi. No, Draken does tell Mikey that they should literally look into them just for making sure. This is where, mostly, Mikey does kind of have a little bit of an argument with Draken, but mostly this is where Mobius, a leader, does appear, saying to tell the middle schoolers to keep their mouth out of their, mostly keep the name of what they call Mobius out of their name before they get their asses beat. But yeah, this is where when Mikey and all of them notices, this is where Paul kind of rushes and tries to punch him in the face, mostly the Mobius leader, but of course he gets his ass kind of punched in the face instead. This is where, and right now he's trying to fight against the Mobius leader. This is where a bunch of members of Mobius actually surrounding Mikey and the others, and even, Takemichi. This is where, Paul does fight against, the Mobius leader, and every time he fights against him, trying to punch him, but of course, this is where, he's getting overpowered with speed and strength, and this is where Takemichi is noticing this. Now, of course, he gets quite angry and annoyed with the fact with, mostly the Mobius leader kind of fighting against Paul. Now, of course, he doesn't really care that much about Paul, but of course, he kind of sees what it called mostly Akun instead of getting an ass kicked. And remember, in Akun is saying that, please save us all. This is where, Takemichi was about to step in until mostly Mikey told him to stop by kind of not stepping in. This is where when Paul is unconscious. This is where, Paul does fall unconscious. This is where, this is where, Mikey does kind of talk to Paul, and of course, mostly Paul is unconscious on him, telling him that he's worthless. This is where Mikey was getting angrier, and of course, this is where, well, mostly Olsen is laughing and other things. This is where, well, Takemichi starts walking towards what's called Olsen. Now, of course, his eyes glowing much more brighter yellow. He's getting much more angrier. This is where, well, he was actually walking closer towards Olsen until Mikey told, well, Takemichi to step back, that he's going to fight Olsen. This is where Olsen says, oh, so two people are going to fight me. How about this? He tells some of, what's it called, mostly his gang members to attack Takemichi. This is where Draken says, Takemichi, move! This is where Takemichi disappears in an instant right now, grabbing one guy from the head and right now smashing him to the ground. Saying, move out of my way. Takemichi right now said with such an angry and annoyment tone. This is where, well, the other guy that had a wooden bat has his wooden bat right now snapping in an instant, getting punched in the stomach. This is where, well, Olsen went in his eyes, but before Olsen can even blink, he gets his fucking head right now kicked to the ground by Mikey. This is where, well, Mikey right now tells everyone, if any of you fuckers ever try to hurt my friends again, I'll kill you in an instant. Now, of course, this is where, well, his eyes were kind of brighter, with kind of glowing a little bit darker, malicious blue, but yeah, than his normal dullish blue color, or mostly just dark blue color. This is where, well, Mikey and Issei were just standing in front of, well, mostly the whole group of Mobius, and Mobius is right now shitting themselves in an instant because they just saw two members of Mobius just get their asses kicked. One had a weapon and still his weapon just shattered into a million pieces and getting hit in the stomach. And the other thing of their boss just getting absolutely knocked the fuck out. This is where, well, Mikey's eyes are glowing a little bit murderous color and telling them that no matter what, I am the leader of what they call Takuma. And if anything, I am the back for it. So whenever I'm here, I will definitely help my friends. Or mostly help, yeah, Taku. But, fuck, what the hell did I call it? The fuck? This is where, well, Mikey says, Toma belongs to me, and I will be the back of it. And if you want to challenge me, then fight me now or die. This is where, well, basically Mikey and Takemichi are standing there. Of course, Takemichi, one of his eyes is glowing a little bit bright, and that's the yellow eye, while his other eye is blue, and of course, it's still kind of the same. And this is where, well, he does kind of has a little bit of white highlights appear, but no one notices because of most of the sunlight kind of shining both on Mikey and Takemichi. And of course, all of what's called Mobius is right now shitting themselves after seeing the sight. They are just like, oh hell no. They are just scared right now. This is where, well, the police is actually coming, and this is where, well, yeah, well, not police, is still coming up. It's mostly what's it called, Mikey and Takemichi are just standing there, and everyone is just like, oh god, what should we do? This is where, well, mostly the Mobius leader named Osuna kind of gets up, grabbing a broken bottle and rushing straight towards Mikey. This is where, well, mostly what's it called, Draken actually appears. And of course, when Osuna was actually rushing towards him, this is where, well, instead of Draken actually kicking him in the stomach, this is where, well, Takemichi appears, grabbing him from the hand, mostly the bottom of the hand, and of course, just flipping him over. This is where, well, smashing Osen to the like ground. Of course, this is where Takemichi then decides to kick him straight to the ground, making sure that he's actually just knocked out. This is where he's knocked out. This is where, well, Takemichi squeezes his hand a little bit tighter, and this is where, well, Osan drops the bottle, breaking it. This is where, well, Takemichi glares at anyone else, saying, come on, attack me then. This is where all of them right now say, oh, hell no. This is where, well, Draken and mostly Mikey are kind of surprised with Takemichi's skills in fighting. Now, of course, where, well, Takemichi is not fully unconscious. He's actually controlled, but yet at the same time not. This is where, well, Takemichi is just looking at everyone. And of course, where, well, the police are actually on their way because they hear kind of like sirens. This is where everyone is winding their eyes. Now, of course, where, well, Takemichi says, where the hell do you all think you're going? Pick up your boss and now take him out of here. This is where, well, all of them flinches at mostly the voice and tone of Takemichi. It's very commanding and very serious. This is where, well, mostly, what's it called? Takemichi turns around because he noticed something really fast out of his corner of his eye. Mostly has the blue eye. This is where, well, he saw slow motion and of course saw Paul actually stab what's it called, Takemichi in the stomach. This is where, well, Paul says, sorry, Mikey. This is where, well, mostly everyone in the eyes, and this is where, well, Mikey and Draken are just like, no, you idiot. This is where, well, mostly the vice captain of what's it called, the 3rd Division say, Paul, no. This is where, well, Paul says, I will have to stay here. Sorry, Mikey. This is where, well, Takemichi sighs, and for some reason, he decides to pick, what's it called? The person, mostly the leader of what's it called? Mobius, on his back, and decides to just grab Paul. Now, of course, dragging his ass. Now, of course, where, well, he decides to put them both on his shoulders. Now, of course, they're heavy as hell, but for some reason, Takemichi feels stronger than normal. This is where he says, okay, let's start fucking running. This is where, well, he starts booking past what's called Draken and Mikey, and both of them just wind their eyes. Of course, still hearing the sirens, so they just start booking it. This is where, well, the vice captain of what's it called? Mostly, yeah, the vice captain of 3rd Division, right now sees this and says, holy fuck, he's stronger than normal. He can carry 2 people, one somewhat grown-ass what's it called, grown-ass man, and then Paul. This is where, well, the vice captain is not regretting and pissing off Takemichi now that he thinks about it. he would have probably got knocked the fuck out if it wasn't for mostly anyone intervening into mostly their scuffles. This is where, well, mostly they're running like hell. Of course, this is where, well, Takemichi says, hey, Draken, do you have like some kind of, I don't know, random bandage or whatever? Draken says, why? We can just patch up this guy and then bring him to the hospital, or get one of his men to get him. This is where, well, Draken says, you know, this was just the most stupidest idea I ever heard. You're just picking up 2 idiots. Well, mostly 2 idiots that would have gone to jail. Yeah, you can argue with me later. This is where, well, Mikey is laughing, seeing this, and just saying, I didn't know you have this much strength, Takemichi. If I would have known you had this much strength, you probably would have been able to overpower me in a battle. This is where, well, Takemichi says, overpower you in the battle? Yeah, right. Fighting you right now against me having 2 wounded men? Yeah, that would be kind of unfair, wouldn't it? This is where Mikey says, no, I mean like an actual battle, not with you 2 having a, what's it called, Paul, or what's it called, Osanai. This is where, well, Takemichi says, I might be able to carry, what's it called, Osanai with me, but, and bring him to the hospital and just say that he got stabbed, randomly in the alleyway. They'll probably believe me, right? I don't look like any gang member, so I'm good. This is where, well, Draken says, yeah, I think they would believe you. This is where, well, mostly the vice captain says, what about Paul? This is where, well, Takemichi says, hey, how about this, vice captain? I throw Paul straight towards you and you catch him and carry him towards the hospital. This is where the vice captain says, wait, what? 1, 2, 3. This is where, well, he says, wait, I'm not ready. This is where, well, mostly Takemichi just chuckles and just stops for a second. And of course, they are already under, like a, what's it called, under a bridge. And this is where Takemichi just decided to put, what's it called, Paul down to the ground. And of course, where, well, put Austin down to the ground also. And then decide to try to stop the bleeding. But of course, would not take out the knife. Because he knows if he takes it off, he will start bleeding more. This is where, well, mostly Takemichi just kind of like, what's it called? This is where, well, mostly, what's it called? He decides to kind of like grab some dirty rag. Kind of, not dirty rag, he just like finds some random t-shirt and just starts kind of ripping it and trying to put it around mostly the wound of, what's it called, Osanai. This is where Paul says, why didn't you leave me? This is where, well, Takemichi glares back up and says, I didn't leave you because you're too much of an idiot. And Mikey should deal with you instead of the cops. Besides, he should be nicer to you, I guess. This is where, well, Paul says, you could have left me, you could have got revenge. And how would I get revenge if you're in the, what's it called, I don't know, in the fucking jail prison? I'm not gonna break into the jail just to beat the shit out of you and then come back out. Yeah, that sounds stupid. This is where, well, Paul chuckles, and this is where he passes out. This is where, well, mostly his vice captain is looking over him saying, Paul, wake up, don't fall asleep. No, you can't die on me. This is where, well, Takemichi sweats up and says, you realize he fell unconscious, right? This is where, well, mostly the vice captain says, oh, really? Thank God, I thought he died. No, he was getting his ass kicked a while ago. He didn't get any stab wounds. Now, this guy, on the other hand, he's knocked out. He does have a stab wound, but it's not fatal. I mean, Paul managed to miss every organ in his body. If he would have hit any vital organs, it would have actually killed him. Now, for some reason, Takemichi seems to be much more knowledgeable in this. For some reason, when he sees a stab wound or anything, he seems to be extremely knowledgeable. Now, this is where, well, Takemichi seems to be a little bit different, acting a little bit different. And of course, feeling a little bit much more stronger than normal. This is where, well, Takemichi kind of just says, whatever, let's just get Osanai and even Paul towards the hospital. Hey, Drunken, can you carry what's it called, Paul? This is where Drunken says, where do I look like I want to carry him? This is where, well, Takemichi just says, whatever, just lift him up on my shoulder and I can just carry him. This is where, well, Drunken says, nah, just help. This is where, well, Mikey is laughing still and saying, still, Takemichi, you should definitely have a battle with me. I want to see how strong you are. You managed to knock out, well, mostly some of the Mobius leaders out. Well, mostly not Mobius leaders, but Mobius, like, members pray out so fast. I want to know how strong you really are, Takemichi. This is where he grins. This is where, well, mostly Drunken just says, oh, come on, oh, Mikey. Let's just hurry up and get to the hospital before one of them bleeds out and probably dies. This is where, well, Mikey says, ah, you're right, Kenny. Let's go. This is where, well, mostly the vice captain kind of just follows them along. And when they get to the hospital, they just kind of puts them into, yeah, leaving them into the doctors and other things' care. This is where, well, of course, this is where, well, when, they're getting close to the hospital, mostly Takemichi noticed that mostly the knife will have some, what's it called, like, DNA from Paul. So, of course, this is where, well, when they're getting closer, this is where, well, Jokin kind of looks at mostly what Takemichi's doing. This is where he says, what are you doing? Are you going to pull out the knife? Are you crazy? Takemichi says, if I'm not crazy, I'm just going to throw the knife into the water. Best scenario is Paul won't get arrested during what's called mostly their treating wounds. Because if they look into the freaking knife, they already have the marking footprints, well, fingerprints of what's it called, Paul. So I'm doing Paul a fucking favor. And besides, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Paul later. This is where, well, Jokin chuckles a little bit. Well, just kind of sighs and says, fine. Pull out the knife. Just make sure to push a little bit of, what's it called? Make sure to have still so much more pressure into the wound when I pull out the knife. Yeah. This is where Mikey and even what's it called, the vice captain are just kind of seeing this, or mostly third division vice captain. And this is where, well, Takemichi pulls out the knife in an instant, throws it into the river, mostly there's next to them a river somewhere, and this is where he tosses that shit in there, and of course it's Drunken's putting like pressure into it. Okay, now let's just go bring him here. Let's bring him first and then Paul next. This is where, well, Drunken and what's called Takemichi does kind of bring them first, mostly the Mobius leader. Of course, is where, well, the nurses just kind of rush what's called the Mobius leader out of there, but yeah. Of course, is where Takemichi says that he managed to just see him in the alleyway and he was hurt. He didn't know what happened. He just saw a black cloaked figure with a knife stabbing him, and when Takemichi saw this, the person ran away, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly the police kind of got information, well, mostly the nurses were kind of writing this down, but yeah, for the cops to kind of get this notified. And of course, Takemichi was doing a very good performance of not knowing that much, if anything. Now, Drunken was just shocked and surprised. This is where, well, when, what's it called, mostly the vice captain was getting impatient, he decides to bring what's it called, Paul in. Now, of course, where, well, when Takemichi saw this, and of course, just managed to also help him out. This is where the vice captain says, why are you taking so long? I'm doing a fucking excellent fucking acting. You should have waited a little bit longer. I just said he was unconscious. I never said he was dying. This is where, well, mostly the vice captain says, you know what? I'm going to. If you're going to say you're going to kick my ass, I'd love to see that try. This is where Takemichi's eye is right now glowing yellow. This is where a little bit furious yellow, and this is where, well, the vice captain says, never mind. I was just going to say I was going to race you in the bike battle. This is where Takemichi says, huh, okay, that's fine. This is where, well, Takemichi does manage to bring this other wounded person to the nurses and, like, doctors. This is where, well, they ask him what happened for him. This is where, well, Takemichi says, I don't know. Mostly he saw a person carrying this person here. And, of course, this is where, well, he doesn't know where that person went. This is where, well, they nodded and, of course, bring what's it called, Paul in also into the emergency room. Or, well, not emergency room, just into one of the rooms to just treat his kind of wounds. It's not serious like what's it called, mostly Olsen, but yeah. This is where, well, Takemichi managed to get out of the what's it called hospital. Of course, this is where they ask for his phone and other stuff. And this is where Takemichi said, yeah, wait, let me put that in there. This is where, well, Takemichi like puts his phone number and other stuff and says that he'd be good to be called not at the what's it called, nowhere near night. So be fine with that. This is where, well, they kind of nodded, so not to call him anywhere when it's sleeping time. So yeah. He doesn't care what it is, the situation. He's not coming here when he's asleep. So yeah. So of course, this is where they just nodded at that weird kind of excuse. But yeah, well, not excuse, mostly just that kind of option. He just doesn't want to be woken up when he's asleep. But yeah, he doesn't care if the person has internal bleeding. He'd rather let him die than come over here and just check what the fuck is happening with this guy. He is asleep. Doesn't care, no matter what. But yeah. Of course, where Takemichi is now outside, and of course, where he sees was called Mikey, Draken, and even was called the vice kind of captain. This is where, well, Takemichi says, yeah, they're both fine. Paul should be in one of the rooms. He's in room. This is where, well, Takemichi pulls out his kind of, paper, and of course, he's in room 405. If you want to go check on. This is where, well, the vice captain already rushes past. Was called mostly Takemichi. Takemichi says, I was about to say the number of A, but wanna fuck it. He can go find that later. This is where, well, they start off at his kind of reaction, mostly Takemichi. This is where, well, Mikey says, what about Olsen? Or mostly Draken kind of says for Olsen. Olsen is still in the emergency room. He's not, again, like I said, it didn't hit any internal, wounds, so of course he doesn't have internal bleeding. He just has bleeding problems. So he would just have a stitch in his stomach. Not my fault. This is where, well, Mikey and Draken says, okay, well, that's good to know. Well, mostly Draken said. Mikey says, still, when do you think you want to have that battle, Takemichi? This is where Takemichi says, when I'm not half-assed tired, that's when I don't want to have a battle. This is where Takemichi, mostly Mikey chuckles and says, oh, good to know. This is where, well, Takemichi says, now, if you don't mind me, I'm going home and going to sleep. I don't care what you people want. This is where, well, Takemichi goes home to just take a fucking nap. But yeah, he is tired. He just carried 2 people, and for some reason he doesn't know where he got the strength, but fuck it. He fall asleep, but yeah. So where, well, Takemichi woke up the next day at a knock at his door. Of course, he ignores it, but this is where it starts banging. This is where Takemichi says, I swear to God, if it's some kind of stupid person, I'm gonna punch him right in the face. Why do I feel like my body hurts like hell? This is where Takemichi says, no, you know what, I don't care about. They can be big at the door anytime, I don't care. This is where Takemichi is asleep. Back to asleep. Man, why am I hungry for a watermelon now? This is where the door is now feeling bang, and of course seems to probably be cracked because there was a huge crack noise. This is where Takemichi woke up and saying, okay, you know what, I'm killing whoever the fuck broke my door. This is where Takemichi goes downstairs and yawning. And this is where, well, he sees his door is a little bit cracked. And this is where, well, mostly Takemichi says, I'm coming. Don't fucking rush me, you assholes. This is where, well, he opens the door. And what he sees is Draken, his friends, mostly his 4 friends. And of course, Mikey. Mikey says, hey, Takemichi. You broke my door. You better fucking have a watermelon with you guys because I am fucking hungry for a watermelon for some reason. This is where, well, Draken says, I'm surprised you actually got that correct. I do have a watermelon. Good to know. Now I'm going to fix this door later. But for right now, I don't care. This is where, well, they kind of start eating the watermelon, mostly being in the kitchen and cutting it. But yeah, this is where, well, Mikey says, good watermelon. This is where, well, Draken is just saying, yep, delicious. This is where, well, mostly, the other friends of the car, mostly Takemichi says, dude, where the hell did you get silver hair from? This is where, Takemichi says, huh? Silver hair? This is where he looks at, well, a mirror and says, I must just be extremely stressed in this whole bullshit of yesterday. I don't have no clue. This is where, well, mostly Mikey says, so when are we gonna have that battle, Takemichi? When I still don't feel too sore in my body. When I fell asleep and woke up this morning before you people decided to bang at my door and shatter that shit, I felt extremely sore. I don't realize no why, but I'm probably just gonna have to go to somewhere to massage my body, or probably at a hot tub place, or hot spring. I don't know where I'm gonna go, but I feel extremely sore, so I'm not gonna be fighting you. My bones feel like they're stiff like a fucking rock. This is where Mikey says, "Aw, I'm sad." This is where, well, Takemichi says, "You can be sad all you want. I'm not fighting you when my body feels like I'm just a sack of potatoes or something. I don't know." This is where, well, Mikey's just sad and says, "Okay, Takemichi," or mostly Michi. This is where, well, Takemichi and the others decide to kind of leave the house for a second. But yeah, this is where, well, Takemichi just decides to start walking because, yeah, even though his bones feel like they're hard as fucking titanium, he just needs to walk for a second. Of course, well, they get to the park. Of course, where Mikey thanks Takemichi for the help with Osen and even with God Paul and the whole acting and other stuff. This is where, well, he does thank Takemichi for actually bringing Paul towards the hospital and other stuff. This is where, well, Takemichi says, "Yeah, no problem. I still feel sore. Can I get one good lucky punch into Paul's face?" This is where Mikey chuckles and says, "Well, that's first. You're gonna have to fight me first, and then I will approve your fight with Paul." This is where, well, Takemichi chuckles. This is where Draken just like ignores their kind of antics for a second. This is where, well, Takemichi says, "Ugh, well." This is where Takemichi notices from the corner of eye sees Emma and even Hima. This is where, well, Takemichi gets up and says, "Hima, you're okay," or not okay. "Hey, Hima." This is where Hima says, "Takemichi." This is where, well, Mikey goes down there to play kind of soccer with Takemichi's other friends. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly they're playing soccer. This is where, well, Hima kind of blushes and says, "Would you like to go on August 3rd towards a festival with me?" This is where Emma just says, like a date with her. This is where, well, Takemichi says, "Sure, I'd love to go." This is where, well, Hima does kind of blushes and says, "Okay." This is where, well, mostly Emma does ask out Draken, and Draken says, "Sure, why not?" This is where, well, the others are kind of just seeing this, but yeah. Now, of course, where, well, Takemichi just says, "Okay, well, I should be going on a festival, shouldn't I?" This is where, well, when Takemichi does go to his house after mostly talking to them, but yeah, but of course, just going to his house, he decides to feel like he should be working out. For some reason, he should feel like he should be working out. Which, before he decides to start working out, he feels unconscious because, yeah, of course, where, well, he gets back into the black kind of voidless place. This is where he says, "Where am I now again?" This is where, well, he's looking around until he kind of noticed the same figure. The same figure kind of looks at Takemichi. "Huh, you're back? It seems that giving you a little bit of power, changing your body a little bit seems to make you have your fight spirit a little bit much better. Much better indeed since the last time. I guess helping you would be good enough for our survival of both of us. Well, good to know. Well, not the point. You right now kind of, well, you look like this, and you look much stronger. But still your fighting spirit is not that better off. What? Your fighting spirit is good enough. It's the only problem that is with your body." This is where Takemichi says, "Right, I'm still scrawny. Yeah, you're gonna have to train like hell. Don't worry, your future self will be also fit as hell if you train in the past. So yeah, you don't need to worry about any of that." "Huh? How do you..." "Well, other than that, wake up already and train like hell, you bastard." This is where the person appeared right in front of Takemichi, and Takemichi winded his eyes. He was about to try to block a fist attack from this person, until he gets uppercutted, and this is where he's knocked out. He wakes up, jolting up, and says, "Okay, asshole. Whoever the hell you were, but fuck it, I should probably be training." This is where Takemichi starts kind of training and working on his body until August 4th. This is where, well, he decides to kind of wear a black kind of long sleeve, some white kind of like white pants are kind of loose as hell, and black shoes. This is where, well, he decides to kind of, well, also wear a black hood, but yeah. He's kind of like going out with, Hima to the festival. This is where Hima is kind of blushing a little bit at seeing, well, Takemichi. Takemichi has grown a little bit much taller than normal after kind of working out, but yeah. So he kind of get a little bit taller to becoming 5'6" instead of his original height being 5'5", but yeah. This is where, well, his hair kind of became just, instead of being into whatever, well, he still has the same hairstyle as original canon for when he was in middle school, but yeah. This is where, well, He's right now talking to Hima. Of course, they're kind of walking around the festival while Emma and Chaken already left to go somewhere. But yeah, this is Takemichi is looking around. Of course, where they're kind of having a little bit of the festival, and of course playing some of the video games, some of the carnival games. Of course, when Takemichi shot at some of the targets, and of course it then knocked over, this is where the person says, "You gotta knock it over first." This is where Takemichi glares with an angry and annoyed, furious look. This is where Takemichi pulls out like a little pebble, tiny pebble that person can't see and even Hima couldn't see. And when Takemichi shot at the target, he then hit it with the pebble very fast. He put it on his like thumb, in his like what's it called, left hand, and of course he then flicked his like thumb. He flicked his hand, mostly like his thumb finger, straight towards shooting the pebble towards the target, and it hit the target and knocked it over when what's it called, Takemichi shot at it. This is where the person said, This is where, well, you was shocked and dumbfounded. This is where Takemichi says, "Well, give me my price now." This is where Takemichi said very smirkily. This is where, well, the person says, fine. This is where, well, he gives the call Takemichi a giant stuffed bear, which he gave to Hima. But yeah, Hima kind of smiles at the call. We'll see how much of a giant teddy bear this is, and smiles at what's it called, mostly Takemichi. Takemichi smiles at her, but yeah. Now, of course, it started raining, which they wind their eyes. Now, of course, this is where, well, Hima uses a kind of bear to kind of an umbrella, while Takemichi just uses his hood and just kind of ran with Hima towards a tree that isn't wet. Now, of course, this is where, well, they were about to start kind of like making out until his phone started ringing. This is where Takemichi says, "Whoever this is, I'm gonna kill them in an instant. What the fuck do they want?" This is where, well, he gets called by his friend, and of course, his friend says, "Yo, we got what's called information about..." Well, which friend was it again? Wait, I can't remember. So, of course, this is where, well, mostly, when he gets called by, what was that guy with glasses? Forgot his name. With brown hair. I forgot completely his name. But this is where, well, he kind of says, "This rain kind of sucked." This is where, well, Takemichi says, "Hey, where would you like to be buried at when you're older?" This is where Takemichi has a sweet smile. This is where, well, the person says, probably somewhere where it's not raining. So, like in the sun, right? This is where, well, he's what Trump says, why are you saying this? Never mind. Just, what do you want exactly? This is where Takemichi said. This is where, well, mostly the person says, "Oh, I was just telling you about some information I got." Mostly seems to see that mostly some of, what's it called, Toma is trying to target, what's it called, Draken. Are you serious? This could be bad. Okay, thanks for that. Well, bye. This is where, well, the person says, "Wait, I wanted..." Oh, fuck, I got hanged by what's called Takemichi. I wonder if I should call any of the others. This is where, well, we go into Takemichi saying, "Sorry about this, Hima, but I need to be going. Make sure to be careful, okay?" This is where, well, he must say, "Oh, okay." This is where, well, Takemichi runs through the kind of like, mostly mostly the forest to look for Draken until he noticed, mostly a situation happen of mostly like some of the members of Toma being there, but of course kind of meeting up with some of the Mobius, and of course we're giving them a knife, a dagger, and of course where, well, Takemichi notices, of course, where, well, they started kind of walking past because Takemichi did hide into the darkness pretty well. Of course, being behind some bushes, just do not get caught, like unlike original canon. And this is where Takemichi, one of his eyes is glowing through the dark, being yellow, and of course no one notices, but yeah, this is where Takemichi says, "This could be bad. Kimemasu, didn't I break your jaw one time? I guess I'll break your face this time." Takemichi has a sinister kind of face on, well, sinister grin on his face. Now, of course, he decides to jump up and kind of rush towards where Hima would be at, but of course, to look for Draken at the same time, but yeah. Now, of course, where, well, he finds Hima and decides to kind of bring her towards mostly the carport. This is where, well, he tells Hima to kind of go and be careful. This is where, well, he then sees the 2nd Division captain, and this is where, well, the 2nd Division captain says, "You're Takemichi. Where's Draken?" This is where, well, Takemichi says, "Draken, I still haven't found him. It seems that some of Toma members are actually going to try to attack him." "Are you sure? I thought that was, what's it called, Mobius." "No, Mobius, Draken, I don't know. I'll explain after we go find him. This is where, well, both of them nod and start running into the forest. Now, of course, they're looking for, what's it called, well, where Draken would be at. This is where, well, Takemichi's kind of leaving him in the dust a little bit, but of course, this is where they're keeping up with the speed. Or mostly he's still keeping up with Takemichi's speed a little bit, but yeah, surprised with Takemichi being a little bit faster than normal. This is where, well, Takemichi then thinks about it, and does remember something about when he was reading an article. He then asked what's it called, mostly second division captain, if there's another car port somewhere else. This is where, well, the second division captain says, yes, it'll be on this other side. This is where, well, they come back and rush to the other side. And right now, when they get towards the location, they see Draken. And of course, this is where, well, this is where, when they see Draken and of course a bunch of bloody members of Mobius, this is where, well, mostly Draken kind of notices got Takemichi and Hitsuya. And this is where mostly the second division captain. This is where, well, he said Hitsuya. And even, what's it called, Hitsuya, I think, oh, something like that, Takemichi. What are you doing here? This is where Takemichi says, good question, don't know. Takemichi jumps off the railing and rushes towards some of the Mobius members, in which the Mobius members right now gets pale because they remember at the same time when Takemichi really crushes some of the Mobius members, like, heads into the ground. This is where Takemichi says, don't you think you're running away? This is where Takemichi kicks one in the head. Like, high kicked him in the head. Right now, knocking them out. This is where another member tries to right now use a bat to smash it upon, what's it called, Takemichi. But this is where Takemichi right now uses his backhand to smash through the, well, what's it called, wooden bats. And destroying a bunch of, like, sending a bunch of splinters. But this is where Takemichi then grabs the person from the face, throwing him straight into another person, smashing into that person. This is where Takemichi says, you okay, Draken? You don't seem too well. This is where Draken says, I'm fine. This is where he's breathing. This is where Mitsuya does actually appear kicking one person out of the way. This is where, well, Mitsuya says, dude, are you really okay? You don't seem absolute well. I'm here to agree with Takemichi. You don't seem well. You should probably sit down. This is where Draken says, sit down and let you two have fun? Yeah, hell no. This is where, well, Takemichi just says, I warn you, but whatever. Takemichi rushes straight into some members. This is where Takemichi right now kind of flows his hand so fast that some of the members didn't even know what the fuck happened, but their jaws and even some bones in their body just got dislocated. This is where they wind their eyes and fell to the ground in pain. This is where, well, one person was holding his jaw and said, oh, fuck. He can barely even talk now. This is where, well, some of the other members of Mobius right now pales at, well, seeing Takemichi's eye glow again. Tell me, do you like dying? This is where, well, Takemichi said in such a cold, murderous voice. This is where some of the Mobius members say, you think we're gonna die? We outnumber all of you. We're definitely gonna win. Takemichi says, win? Whoever said you were gonna win? This is where, well, Takemichi rushes at another person right now, sending a very powerful kick to right now hit them in the jaw. Right now, probably shattering that jaw. Right now, pushing them up to the ground, up in the air. Right now, pushing them into, well, their friends. This is where the others kind of notices and just try to jump out of the way. But yeah. This is where, well, someone started, well, mostly it's Mikey that came through with a bike. And this is where, well, he looks at the Mobius members with a murderous glare. And this is where, well, Mobius members kind of get scared because they were already having trouble with what they call fighting against, well, a person with silver blondish hair, having one golden eye and one blue eye, already kicking the shit out of them, already having a problem with Draken and even with the second division captain. Now, of course, they don't even know who exactly this blondish silver person hair is exactly. They just know that this motherfucker was there with Toma. So they're guessing that he probably is first division, or probably captain, or probably even zero division, because this motherfucker is at par with Mikey. They don't even know if he's exactly with par with Mikey, but he's pretty damn fast and pretty damn strong. So people who already got their jaws doesn't like it located, or even other people, can probably already testimony for that, that he probably on par with Mikey or something. But this is where, well, this is where Mikey appears. And of course, this is where they say, shit. But this is where someone else appears. Right now, having an umbrella over his head. And of course, having blonde hair and golden hair. Or mostly, not blonde hair and golden hair. Blonde hair, right now, one patch of blonde hair. And of course, black hair. This is where, well, he has a tattoo on his right hand that says sin, and his left hand has punish. That's why he's smoking a cigarette. And of course, he says, the name's Hama, and I am the temporary captain for Mobius, or leader for Mobius. And our term is a long term for what's called destroying Toma. This is where, well, he grins at what's it called. Well, Mikey. Of course, Mikey does kick him, but this is where he managed to block, and this is where everyone wants their eyes. This is where, well, mostly Takemichi won his eyes, but still noticed him. This is where, well, mostly Hama says, you think you're gonna be able to defeat me? Mobius has over 100 members, while you, Mikey, only have a measly 4 members. You, Mikey, the invincible Draken, and you too, second division captain, and he just stands there looking at what's it called, Takemichi, for a little bit. What do you like to be called? Doesn't work. Well, Takemichi says, the fuck? You don't have anything for me? I can just call you a nobody and be done with it. Call me a nobody and I'll break your fucking face in. This is where Takemichi says with such a smiling grin on his face. And this is where, well, Hama says, let's see what to call you. Just call me Monster and I'll kick your ass right now. This is where, well, we'll see. Hama says, that's pretty interesting. You'd rather be called Monster. You know what? Let's see if you can live up to that name then. This is where everyone from Mobius says, you know, that actually seems accurate as hell. This is where, well, bring it on, Toma. Let's see if you can defeat me. Mikey! This is where Hama right now just laughs and was about to, like, launch Mobius to actually attack him until they hear rumbling motorcycle, or, like, rumbling of motorcycles. And this is where, well, Takemichi heard that pretty far. He actually heard it before anyone else, and this is where Takemichi just kind of grins and lowers his guard a little bit. Not that much, just relaxes. This is where Hama notices, but this is where he then hears rumbling of what's it called, like motorcycles. This is where he says, what the hell? This is where some of the Mobius members actually hear it now and say, huh? What is that? This is where, well, a bunch of people roll up behind what's it called, the Toma, well, mostly Mikey and the others. This is where a bunch of motorcycle lights, and this is where Takemichi right now covered his eyes because of the light. That hurts my eyes a little bit. This is where, well, a bunch of them start getting off. Mostly it's basically a Toma game. And this is where, well, the 5th, the 4th, and the 1st division captains are there with their kind of vice captains. This is where, well, not Benjamin, mostly Benny, kind of just says, well, it's time for you jackasses to die, you bastards. This is where, well, the 5th division captain says, and I'm ready to kill these motherfuckers. This is where, well, the orange hair guy, who's the 4th division, says, well, who's gonna die first? This is where, well, they all have kind of different looks. This is where, well, mostly what's it called, Hama says, this is so interesting. So many different people are here. Well, it's time to die anyway. This is where, well, Mikey kind of cracks his neck and says, well, not Mikey. Mostly it's none other than Takemichi Takemichi? Oh, not Mikey. So Takemichi just cracks his neck and says, well, it's time for this fun to just start already, shouldn't it? This is where all of them are just kind of looking at what they call Mobius, and this is where, well, Hama says, well, this is where, well, Mikey says, let's go! This is where everyone, mostly before he's saying let's go, mostly Draken gets up and says, a battle, a whole big brawl before after the festival. This is nice. This is where, well, Mikey says, yeah, it is. This is where Takemichi kind of just says, I'm just here because I'm bored a little bit, and I just happen to just pass by, shouldn't I? If any cop ask me any question, I should just say I just passed by and just decide to help a little bit. This is where, well, Draken and even Mikey just switch up at mostly Takemichi's kind of, am I saying it right? Fuck. Takemichi just says, what do you want? Well, that's my excuse. I'm not really a part of Toma, so I'm pretty much good, isn't it? This is where, well, Hama says, hey, you're not a part of Toma? Yeah, but whatever. Let's just start this battle already. This is where, well, Mikey just says, I couldn't agree anymore. Let's go! This is where they're rushing. This is where, well, Mikey's in the middle. What's it called? Drak is, like, right next to him. Well, on the right side. While, well, Takemichi is in the left side. This is where they're all rushing. This is where everyone's rushing. This is where, well, Hama says, kill them all! This is where, well, a bunch of members are rushing. This is where, well, when they all kind of just run forward. This is where, well, Mikey runs first. This is where Takemichi runs second, and Draken kind of runs. But yeah. This is where, well, he's running, well, right behind Takemichi. This is where Takemichi, well, mostly Mikey managed to kick one person in the head. And this is where Takemichi managed to punch one person in the jaw right now, dislocating his jaw again. Mostly he'd be, like, doing that most of the time. But this is where, well, another person tries to even hit him behind him. This is where Takemichi managed to just slide underneath some people. And this is where Takemichi managed to just kick them in the stomach. Will kick one person in front of him, pushing that guy into another person. But yeah, smashing them away. Takemichi is grinning. This is where, well, Takemichi just says, you're quite pathetic as hell. Takemichi is right now saying, this is where, well, Draken right now punches one person in the face, then grabs another one from the head, and then smashing him into another person. But yeah. This is where, well, Mikey is right now kicking them and punching them away. But yeah, this is where, well, the other members are rushing in and kind of just a huge brawl battle between Mobius and, what's it called, mostly Takuma. This is where, well, mostly, what's it called, one of the Mobius members managed to grab what's called a Takuma member, but this is where, well, Takemichi was like right next to that person. This is where he grabs the guy from the collar, mostly the Mobius member, just drag them away from what's it called, the Takuma member. Tokomanji member, whatever. This is where, well, he grabs the Mobius member first and just says, "Where the fuck you going? Let's go with your friends, motherfucker." This is where, well, Takemichi just throws that guy into a group of his friends, or mostly a group of Mobius members, and they just smash into the ground. This is where, well, Takemichi says, "What the hell are you doing? Get up and fight. And don't get your guard down." This is where Takemichi glares at what's it called, some of the members of what's it called, Toma, that he added to help, but yeah. This is where Toma members started kind of helping out with Takemichi in the battle between some of the members of what's it called, Mobius. This is where Takemichi is right now punching some of the Mobius members in the face, grabbing their head and smashing them into his knee, or just managing to use what's it called, a technique that he's not very familiar from, but this is where, well, or not a technique just yet, but this is where, well, mostly he's kind of dislocating a lot of people, mostly knocking them all out. But he's still looking for Draken because he still knows that Draken still hurt. And this is where, well, someone walked past, well, mostly Takemichi. It was a person wearing the Toma gear, or mostly the same outfit. Until, well, mostly, what's it called, Takemichi kind of looks past him and sees none other than, what's it called, Draken right now hurt. This is where Takemichi noticed a bunch of people right now blocking him, and this is where Takemichi says, "Move out of the fucking way." This is where, well, one of his eyes actually bright, much more goldly, well, much more brighter yellow, and this is where Takemichi right now appears in front of the Mobius members before just kind of grabbing one of them from the head and right now smashing them to the ground in an instant. Then the others try to attack him, but this is where, well, Takemichi just managed to dislocate one of their arms by grabbing their bat, and this is where he uses the bat to smash them upon the other three, moving them out of the way. This is where he drops the bat, and this is where he then goes to Draken and says, "Draken, you okay? Dude, wake up! Damn it!" This is where, well, he sees some of the Toma members, and this is where he then tells some of the Toma members to guard him right now. This is where, well, the Toma members kind of looked at Draken being hurt, and this is where they kind of rushed towards what's it called, Takemichi's side. This is where, well, Takemichi gets up and right now tells him to kind of hurry up and pick him up and put him on his back. He'd be rushing to a hospital. Tell, what's it called, Mikey, that he's taking, what's it called, Draken towards the hospital. This is where, well, what's it called, we'll see, when Takemichi looks up, he sees, what's it called, Mikey looking at him. This is where Takemichi says, "Mikey, I'm gonna have to bring, what's it called, Draken to the hospital. He just got stabbed." This is where Takemichi, well, mostly when he said that, Mikey kind of noticed, and this is where he gets a murderous aura right now towards Hama and his members. This is where, well, Hama is kind of chuckling and saying, "Oh, are you going to hurt me?" This is where he gets kicked in the face, and this is where he pushed back and say, "Ah, I would have loved to fight also that other person with silver hair and gold, but I guess I'll be fighting you, Mikey the Invincible." It looks like Draken's down for the count. Well, he's going to die. This is where, well, Takemichi right now runs off. Right now, being able to carry Draken much easier. This is where, well, he's now rushing towards the hospital. Right now, trying to get there. But this is where, well, when Hama kind of notices, he says, "Go get them! Don't let, what's it called, Draken escape! This is where, well, Mikey says, I'm going to kill you, bastard. This is where Mikey sends a very high kick into mostly Hama's face. This is where Hama managed to dodge. And this is where, well, Hama says, oh, you're going to kill me. Bring it on, Mikey. The invincible. You're not going to be able to defeat me. This is where he sends a punch into Mikey's face, but Mikey sends also a punch. They both collide, and this is where they push back each other. This is where Hama says, you made me bleed. But then again, I made you also bleed. This is where, well, he's grins like a madman. This is where, well, some of the Takano members kind of noticed this. Right now, seeing what's it called, Takemichi kind of take Jock to the hospital, which some of the, well, a division captain, like the 5th division captain says, hurry up and go. I'll be taking out these losers. This is where, well, he right now punches or mostly grabs some of the mostly Mobius members and just throws them back into, well, their group of, well, Mobius fellas. This is where other Takama members, mostly those who are just foot soldiers are right now brawling with some of the Mobius members, while, well, Takemichi is right now rushing towards the hospital. This is where Takemichi says, damn it, damn it, damn it. Draken, you better be still awake. I swear to God, I'll punch you right now in the face to wake your ass up. This is where, well, Draken says, this is where he coughed up blood, and this is where, well, Takemichi's right now rushing at full speed. But this is where, well, when he's rushing at full speed, he kind of went through an alleyway, or mostly an alleyway of houses, and kind of managed to almost get, well, he gets blocked by none other than Kiyomasa and the others. This is where Kiyomasa kind of is still holding in his jaw and says, you little shit, I'm going to get revenge for what you did to my jaw. This is where, well, right now Takemichi puts what's it called Drock down, but then notice what's it called behind him is none other than Emma and Hima. And this is where, well, right now he tells Hima and Emma to stand back and kind of keep an eye with Draken. This is where, well, Hima says, wait, Takemichi, you can't. This is where, well, Takemichi says, I'll be fine, don't worry. This is where, well, Hima kind of says, Takemichi. This is where, well, right now Kiyomasa says, huh? Is that your stupid girlfriend? Well, after killing you, I might have to have a little bit. This is where before he even says anything, he gets his fucking face smashing by a fist so hard that he gets pushed back into the other members. This is where, well, Takemichi cracks his hand and says, you're not doing anything. I'm gonna kill you now before you dare do anything stupid. This is where Takemichi has a murderous look into his eye. This is where, well, the other member says, huh? And you think you can stop us? This is where someone pulls out a knife and trying to attack Takemichi. And Takemichi right now uses his own fist. Well, not his own fist. He mostly uses his hand to block the stab wound, which he did manage to get still stabbed, like in his hand. But this is where Takemichi grabs the person like hand, and that still has the knife, and this is where the person says, how are you not screaming? This is Takemichi says, I'm gonna make sure you're screaming when I break your teeth in and make you swallow them. This is where the person winds his eyes. He's not fighting a human. What he's fighting is a werewolf. Well, not even a werewolf. What he sees right now in front of Takemichi, or behind him, is like a wolf. This is where Takemichi sent a powerful punch into this person's like teeth. This is where he actually managed to shatter his teeth. This is where, well, Takemichi managed to still have the knife in his hand, but he doesn't care. He's not pulling it out just yet because he knows it will start bleeding. Takemichi rushes at another person, right now jumping up in the air and just sending a powerful axe kick into this person's like skull, right now smashing him through the ground, knocking him out. This is where some of the members realize they're not fighting a human. What they're fighting is a wolf, literally a like lone wolf. This is where, well, Takemichi says, I'm going to make sure that all of you are dead. Right now in my feet, 6 feet under the ground. This is where, well, all of them just get scared. This is where Kiyomasa gets up and says, ugh, I might have got punched in the face once before, but I'm not going down this time. He rushes using his own knife into attacking Takemichi. Takemichi right now takes out the knife that he has and throws it down to the ground. And this is where Takemichi says, I'm going to show you what you're messing with. Takemichi appears right in front of Kiyomasa. This is where, well, Takemichi says, this is where he breathes in and then breathes out and says, water stream, rock smashing fist. This is where blue energy appears, and of course Takemichi is right now getting flashbacks, a bunch of memories about this technique, and this is where his hands right now glow in this blue energy, and everything goes around him being dark. This is where he then smashes multiple hits into, well, mostly Kimose, or whatever the hell his name again was again. Kiyomasa, and Kiyomasa could not react. This is where the knife itself shattered into a million pieces. Kiyomasa was knocked out to the ground. He literally falls down to the ground. And this is where when Takemichi looks up and looks towards the other members, this is where, well, Takemichi walks towards the other members. And not even letting them run. This is where Takemichi appears right in front of them. Right now sending a palm strike into their stomach. Another strike into, well, hitting them, well, smashing a palm strike into their, like, middle of their chest. Right now knocking them out. Then smashing a fist into one of their throats. Right now making them unable to talk and getting knocked out. And this is the last person. Tries to run away, but this is where Takemichi grabs him from the collar and says, "Where do you think you're going? You think I'm gonna let you just live after trying to insult my girlfriend? I'm going to make sure you stay 6 feet under the ground. Now die for me." This is the person screams and literally just passes out. Pisses himself and passes out. Takemichi didn't even hurt him. Literally didn't even touch him. He was perfectly fine. He just got knocked the fuck out by just fear. But yeah. This is where Takemichi then drops him to the ground and rushes towards Draken and says, "Draken, you fine?" Draken says, "Yeah, I'm fine." Aren't you bleeding? This is where, well, Takemichi says, "Oh, this is nothing but a flesh wound." This is where he says, "That's bullshit. You know that's nothing but, that's a whole wound." This is where Draken chuckles and says, flesh wound my ass." Says the motherfucker that has also stabbed to his, well, stomach. "Well, let's go. We gotta get to the hospital." Draken gets up and says, "I think I'll be fine. I don't want to be carried like a goddamn sack of potatoes by you again." "Oh, shut the hell up and just get on my back. We gotta be going." This is where, well, Emma says, this is where Emma says, "I called the ambulance, but the ambulance is right now on, well, mostly the street of," she names out a street, and this is where, well, Draken says, "That's a little bit far." This is where, well, mostly Takemichi says, "It won't be far enough. Let's just go." This is where, well, Emma and Hima does not, and this is where, well, they're running off to the mostly ambulance, and this is where, well, when they get to the ambulance kind of like gets Draken from Takemichi's like back, and of course this is where they tell Takemichi to also come because he got a stab wound in his hand. This is where Takemichi says, "Nah, it's nothing but a flesh wound." Hima says, "Nothing but a flesh wound. Get over there." This is where, well, this is where Takemichi says, "Yes, miss." This is where, well, Takemichi just goes along, but yeah. He does have bandages around his hand right now, and this is where, well, they're right now trying to treat Draken. Draken says, "Takemichi, you are going to have to take care of, what's it called, Mikey this time." Draken says, well, not, yeah, Draken said that to Takemichi. Takemichi says, "Yeah, right. Either you wake up yourself and tell Mikey that how much you care about him, or I'll punch you right in the stomach to make sure you stay alive." Wouldn't that kill me? Oh, would it? Would it really? Let's test out. This is where Takemichi has a very sweet, evilish smile. This is where Draken says, "Oh god, you're either going to kill me or save me one way or another." This is where he sweat dropping, but yeah. Takemichi just says, "Whatever, let's just get to a hospital." This is where when they get to the hospital, Draken does kind of pass out, and Takemichi says, "Well, time to wake his ass up." This is where the person says, "No, you don't." This is where Takemichi says, "Fine." This is where, well, Takemichi is waiting for the others to kind of get there. Of course, this is where Enma and Hima managed to get there. Of course, this is where, well, mostly Mikey and the 2nd Division captain managed to get there, but yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Mikey kind of just walks past what's it called, Takemichi, well, mostly Emma and the others, and just waiting and says, "Everyone must be quiet here." This is where, well, Garou is right now, or not Garou, mostly Takemichi is right now just sitting down, and of course, really just waiting. But yeah, this is where, well, when the person managed to come back after like 30 minutes saying that Draken's fine, this is where everyone cheers. But yeah, this is where Mikey is happy. This is where he walks away and does cry somewhere else. Even Takemichi managed to find this and just decides to leave him and to just cry. But yeah, this is where, well, Takemichi is kind of just right now on the, well, looking into mostly the sunrise because the rain really stopped mostly pouring, but yeah. This is where, well, Takemichi managed to kind of just get home, and of course he did pass out because he was already tired. This is where, well, he wakes up into the dark void, and this is where the person smiles at Takemichi saying, well, look at that. You managed to use one of my techniques. None other than the water stream rock smashing fist. Pretty good to know that you already managed to kind of have a good understanding in that technique. You gotten stronger, much more stronger. Now that you gotten to know one of my techniques, I should say who I am. The name's Garou. Garou. And that's all you gotta know. Good to know that you want the title of monster, but that title's already belonged to me. But you can get it when you get stronger, kid. This is where, well, Takemichi grins at him and says, so, you're Garou. Fine. I'll get strong. I'll become the strongest fighter there is. And I won't lose to anyone. This is where Garou smiles and says, good. Now wake up, brat. You're gonna have to go visit your friend Dragon or something like that. This is where, well, Takemichi wakes up and does go to the hospital. This is where, well, some people are kind of fearing him because he is none other than Monster. They actually call him either Monster or White Wolf. But yeah, even though his hair is kind of gold and, well, silver, but yeah. But of course, this is where, well, people are kind of fearing him a little bit. This is where, well, they're not fearing him like Mikey gets fear around, but yeah. This is where, well, Takemichi gets to the hospital and of course sees what's called Dragon. This is where, well, Dragon says, I thought you would be a little bit cockier than normal after being called White Wolf or Monster. This is where, well, Takemichi says, whatever names are those. Well, then again, Monster is literally a title I'd rather be called by. But whatever. So how are you doing, Draken? You're okay? Are you gonna pass out? If you're gonna pass out, this left fist of mine might have to go into your stomach to wake you up. Draken squats up and says, please stop trying to actually punch me in my stomach and trying to wake my ass up. Thank God that the doctor stopped you last time from actually punching me. You probably would have killed me. Mr. White, well, Takemichi just chuckles and says, that is true. I probably would have accidentally killed you. Well, if you're fine and heal, then I'll talk to you later. This is where Draken says, oh, before you go, here. This is where, well, Takemichi says, what is this? I didn't know you can actually get gifts while you're in the hospital bed. No, Mikey left that for me to give it to you. It's a kind of gift. It's basically his first uniform when he kind of created Toma. This is where, well, mostly Takemichi says, why would he give this to me if it's so valuable to him? This is where, well, Dragon says, I don't know. Ask him yourself. He's right now on the roof. So go check on him. This is where, well, mostly when Takemichi goes up there to see, well, Mikey says, before Takemichi can even talk to him, this is where, well, Mikey jumps down and says, Takemichi, who are you? This is where I'm gonna leave it off. But yeah. It's not like I haven't watched that episode. It's just I want to kind of leave it off here for, well, part 1 of this What If. I'll go with part 2 later on. But it's probably... So, let me explain. I'll probably fucked up in a lot of things for this What If. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. But I did change up on some things. But yeah. Probably. But not the point. But other than that, this is my first What If for this mostly Takemichi, but yeah, for What If Takemichi was like Garou. Now I don't know why I put fuck, I don't know, but whatever, I will change the title later. But right now, I'm going to go off and do some stuff, like watch more anime or do whatever. But other than that, see y'all, and yeah, bye. I might also go into the manga, so yeah, this will probably be the anime What If. I might also go into the manga or whatever. But other than that, bye, see ya, and yeah.